Do you love the New York Knicks? Do you want free content on the New York Knicks every single day? If you do, I need you to hit that thumbs up icon because we are 13 subscribers away from getting to 27,000 on the channel. We're trying to get there on today's video. So show some love and hit that thumbs up icon. Should the New York Knicks sign Lance Stephenson in NBA free agency? We're going to break that down in today's show. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Lance Stephenson said he wants to play for the New York Knicks. He sat down with the New York Post in an interview and said he wants to return to the city. He's a guy that knows all and well about New York, a Coney Island native and standout back at Lincoln High School. Crazy to think he's only 32 years old. He spent last season in the Puerto Rican League, and he last played in the NBA in April of 2022. But back at Lincoln High School, he was one of the best players in the city. That high school has bred a couple of New York basketball superstars in Stephon Marbury and Sebastian Telfair. And Stephenson led Lincoln High School to 4 consecutive PSAL Class AA championships, and he's the New York State all-time leading scorer. I mean, look at a young Lance Stephenson repping the Lincoln jersey. Man, oh man, what a career it has been for good old blow in your ear, Lance Stephenson. Do I think the Knicks should bring in Lance Stephenson? I'll tell you that and my thoughts in a quick second, but let's see what Lance had to say. He said, I think it's time for a New York team. I want to play for the Brooklyn Nets or the New York Knicks. Either one would do. I feel like I did enough for people to remember me and know me as one of the top players that played in New York. I feel like I am just New York. Love that line. I don't feel like it was a personal jab towards me to no longer be in the NBA. There's a lot of great players. So for me, not to be in the NBA right now, it's okay because I know it's just another chance. There are guys coming up, so I am always able to get back in there as long as I work hard. Good old Lance Stephenson. I can't believe we're actually talking about this on today's video, but I mean, he's a New York legend and he wants to play for the New York Knicks. So we're going to break it down in today's video. Would it be a good idea? Not so sure about that. I mean, and my main reason is because one, he wasn't in the NBA last year, and two, we're about to show you he has not been able to stick with any team in the association except for the Indiana Pacers, where he was drafted in the second round out of Cincinnati. Spent 4 seasons with them, then did a season with the Charlotte Hornets. I remember when he was signed by the Hornets, Michael Jordan was talking about Lance Stephenson. I always thought that was pretty funny. Then he went to the Clippers, then the Grizzlies, then the Pelicans, and then that's where it fell off for Lance Stephenson. Spent a year with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Then he went back to the Indiana Pacers. Then he did a season with the Lakers. Then he went to play basketball in China for the Flying Leopards. And he probably played against the Guangdong Tigers and the Shanghai Sharks. Then in 2021, he was back in the G League playing for the Grand Rapids Gold. Then spent a couple of months with the Atlanta Hawks. Then once again for a third time, went back to the Pacers. And then he spent last season in the Puerto Rican League. He had a great NBA career, though. You cannot deny that. I mean, he was one of those key pieces in those Indiana Pacers teams. We're talking David West, Roy Hibbert, Lance Stephenson, Paul George, George Hill, Chris Copeland after he left the New York Knicks, Danny Granger. Those were a bunch of fun Indiana Pacers teams, but he was never able to really recreate that magic he had in Indy elsewhere. But one thing I will always respect Lance Stephenson for is he's not scared. I mean, he really challenged and got in the face of LeBron James. The blowing in the ear thing was a little bit weird and a little bit sus, not going to lie to you. But he played good basketball in the playoffs. I mean, he has 57 career playoff games under his belt, 11 points per game, 5.5 assists, 5.5 rebounds, 3.2 assists. And he shot 44.8% from the field. I like that he played his best when the stakes were at the highest. But at the end of the day, I think it's safe to say that Lance Stephenson, he might be washed. He might not be that guy anymore. He might not be Lincoln High Lance Stephenson. I'll ask you, though, maybe you want to see the New York legend back hooping in the city. Should the Knicks sign Lance Stephenson. I want to hear from you down in the comment section. Type S for sign, type P for pass, sound off for me. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. So when you get hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll on down and let me know what you think. I hate that I have to say this because I think it would be awesome to see Lance Stephenson wearing the orange and blue, playing in Madison Square Garden. But no. Pass on signing Lance Stephenson. I mean, you look at the roster the Knicks already have. It's jam-packed at this point. You got Brunson, you got Grimes, Barrett, Robinson, Randall, Quickly, McBride, DiVincenzo, Martin, Hart, Windler, Jeffries, Roby, Knight, Hartenstein, and Sims. So for that reason, I would say no. There is no reason at this point to sign Lance Stephenson, except if you're trying to just have a cool story about the New York kid coming home and finishing his basketball career with the Knicks, which would be something that I would love to happen. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make much basketball sense, and I don't think Leon Rose would want to bring him home and finish his career with the Knicks. Speaking of Leon Rose, though, he continues to just kind of be a fraud at this point. I mean, the guy hasn't spoken to the media like in a long, long time. Fred Katz of The Athletic tweeted this out earlier today, that the Knicks have declined a request from The Athletic for team president Leon Rose to hold an on-the-record media availability. Rose has not spoken on the record to independent media in almost 2 years and has not done a solo news conference since joining the Knicks in 2020. The Knicks also declined to have an introductory press conference for Donte DiVicenzo. This is a joke. I'm embarrassed as a Knicks fan because I walk into work, I talk to people, it's like, why are the Knicks afraid of the media? Why do the Knicks not allow any media access? Why won't Leon Rose speak to the media unless it's a scripted press conference with Alan Hahn on ESPN where he's just lobbing him up softball questions and the answers are already premeditated? I will never forget last summer when Leon Rose spoke to the media, Alan Hahn on MSG Network, and he looked around and he said, which one is the fan for the cameras? Or which one is the camera for the fans? Leon, it's a joke. Stop being a loser. Just stop. Stop being a fraud. Stop being a jabroni. Sack up and speak to the media at this point. Like, what are you afraid of? They're not going to beat you up. I promise Fred Katz isn't going to hurt you. Ian Begley's not going to hurt you. Mark Berman's not even there anymore. You don't even got to face the big bad Mark Berman. I mean, I honestly feel bad for the beat reporters for the New York Knicks. You haven't got an answer directly from any question that you thought as possible for the Knicks since he took over. It has been so long. I mean, you saw Fred Katz say it. It's been since 2020. It's almost 2024. Christmas is 3, 4, 5 months away, and we're going to be in 2024. It's embarrassing. It's a joke. I'm disgusted, and I just feel bad for everyone that's job, like mine, is to speak about the New York Knicks and cover them as a team, and the owner, the person making all the decisions, the head of basketball operations, will just not speak with the media. It's a joke. I'm embarrassed. Leon Rose, do better. I can't believe this is actually a thing. No introductory press conference for the Big Ragu. It's a joke. We didn't even have one for Jalen Brunson last year. It was scheduled. It was scripted. It was a whole bunch of BS. I want to know from you, though. Do you care that the Knicks do not speak to the media? As a fan, it upsets me. I want that inside access. As someone that covers this team, it makes my job a whole lot harder. But I'll ask you, what do you make of Leon Rose and the Knicks not speaking to the media? Sound off for me down below in the comment section. As always, I just want to say thank you guys, and I appreciate you for tuning in to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. We're going to continue to pump out content on this channel every single day. And if you want to continue the conversation about your New York Knicks, you can hit me up on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. And I'm going to do this in today's video. Everyone that gives me a follow and then DMs me, I know ball, I'm going to follow you back because you know ball.